Hey, I'm up early this morning. Just had something on my mind from yesterday, and I wanted to come on today and share it because I feel like it's so important for all of us to know about, as we get older, start thinking about our legacy and things that we look back on that we've done or we want to do, and how we've impacted our lives, have impacted somebody else's life. So I wanted to kind of share that. Yesterday was a holiday, MLK Day. So I don't like to come on and interrupt people's time off that they might have. Um, but through a regular work day, a lot of us are getting up and getting ready for work or helping somebody else to get up and get ready for work, our spouses and what have you. But that thing with legacy, it just kind of hovered over me and stuck in my mind. And so very often I thought about it. Sometimes people don't really realize that, you know, just sitting down and thinking about what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want people to remember you by? And so very often, because we don't think about it, sometimes we just stumble through life and not really knowing that our life is impacting others some kind of way. And so in that thinking about a legacy, I just ask everybody this morning to challenge yourself to just sit down and make a journal of some things that you've done in life already. Some things you've already done that you feel like that impacted somebody else's life. You know, I look at all of those individuals who have done so many things in life that their lives are out there, and people are always discussing it, and we're always celebrating it. And it's not just because it was Martin Luther King Day. It's not what I'm talking about. Over time, I like to look at history. I love reading up on different things that people in the past have done, and it gives me insight to from a very young age as to what is it that you really want to do. I want to be a giver. If I want to be a giver, that means I got to give of myself to others in a positive way. I have to invest. And that is with all of us. We have to learn how to invest in others outside of ourselves. And I'm talking about different programs that you may have been a part of in helping to feed the homeless, or helping a family that's been disruptive in some kind of way, or just some type of movement, or just something that's positive, and you were a part of that. That is a part of your legacy, because people will remember that. I believe also on the flip side of that, what has hurts us still today so often is because we get in this thing of competition. What are you competing for? We're better working together. If we just work together, we can get more done. It doesn't mean that you have to do it like somebody else does it. But if you provide a service and I'm providing a service, why are we angry with each other? And you know what that does? It interrupts our legacy that we want to leave behind, because we're busy measuring ourselves up against somebody else instead of doing and staying focused on what it is that we purposed in our hearts to do. I was speaking with a friend of mine on yesterday after I shared with her about, in fact, she's going to be on Wednesday, Jacqueline Sarver. And she's going to be on Wednesday on the podcast at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. But I was sharing with her about a discussion that I had with my physician. And I was telling her how I was sharing with my physician about failure, about sometimes in life, things you wanted to go a certain way and they didn't go that way. And sometimes you just feel like, am I a failure, or did I fail at that? And her response to me was, if you never fail, you never will get to your successes. You never will grow in life. You need failure to grow. You need to know that just because you did it that one time and it didn't work out right, you have to keep going. And that is how people make it, all of us in life, to get up and to keep going. But failure doesn't mean that you count yourself out. Failure is just another way of going back. It's like being put on notice to go back and reevaluate some things. See, sometimes we feel like we failed at something, so we give up. I'm saying this morning, we all need to be reminded not to give up, because something that you failed at, if you go back, sit down and weigh that thing out, you'll find out when you go back at it again, you're a little bit better than you were when you first attempted that. Now, my friend Jacqueline that I was telling you about said to me when I was sharing that with her, failure is just practice for success. Failure is just practice for success. And weighing that out is true. There are so many times when I was doing my college career, I wanted to throw in the towel because I felt like I couldn't handle a specific course. And most of you know that psychology is not an easy study. Studying behavior is not easy. Everything, the words, they flow out of our mouths so very easy. But when we have to go after that to accomplish those goals in life, to get those degrees in life, you're going to have to put effort and time into it. And you're going to have to maintain and be consistent in reaching that goal of what? Completing every course that you take. You've got to put forth effort to complete it. That's in anything. In business, those of you who have started businesses, you got to put effort in it. You got to put time in it. You got to be consistent in it, and you got to stay with it, even though opposition comes up against you. Because believe me, I've experienced it. I know people that have experienced it. Failure. We've all experienced that. And if we say we haven't, we're not being honest with ourselves. Because failure can make you feel like you're down in the dumps. And how am I going to get out of this and climb back up to the top? Or am I just going to continue to sink? To sink in the sorrow of things not turning out like I wanted them to. If you keep this in front of you, this word that I'm about to share with you, again, legacy, keep that in the front of you. Keep the fact that you are building a brand. Whenever you start up a company, you are building a brand for your family. You never know where that's going to take your family. You don't never know who can take that and build from it. Take it from where you started it and build from it. You're building a brand. And you might see it as a small thing, but to God, what you do is a big thing. As long as you are doing things that it's not tearing somebody down, purposely tearing somebody down. No, you shouldn't do that. But things that you do that's building others up, making a difference in lives to come. You are building your legacy. Keep that in front of you no matter what you do, that this is my legacy. If I get off track, I need to get back on track because I'm tampering with my legacy. I'm tampering with what I want to leave behind. So very often, we lose ourselves, not because we want to, but because we find ourselves looking through the glass windows of everybody else. See, when you looking at everybody else, when you focusing at everybody else, when you measuring yourself up against everybody else, you are going to lose yourself because you can't stay the course. I say this all the time. It's none of your business how somebody else feels about you. That is none of your business. My friend, she also, we was having a conversation, and we both like to talk a lot. And we used to work together, but, now she's retired and I'm still in the workforce, but we Zoom a lot. And she was saying, Electra, the reason why so many people, successful people, made it is because they didn't care about what other people had to say. I shared that this morning, that same concept. You cannot be so focused on how somebody else feels about you. You will never make it. You will never get a chance to do those things in life that you want to do. And you are deserving of things in life that you want to do. Yes, other people might look at it as a minimal. Other people might look at it as nothing. But you know what? Look at it as that being a part of your legacy. Look at it, see through your glass window. Not looking through your glass window trying to see somebody else's work. Look at your own work. Know that you are worthy, because you are. I just wish that many of us could get to that point in life where we don't just say it, but we know it, that we are worthy. Sometimes when I'm sitting in the doctor's office like I was on yesterday, and I see people, even though I got some medical stuff going on, I see some people that's worse off than me. And I was sitting there, and on the inside of me, I started praying on the inside of me, saying, Lord, I know I got a situation here. I know I got to deal with this. But I see people who are further along and worse off than me. And I not only ask him to take care of me, I ask him to take care of those people because I don't know them. But I saw the fear of one of the ladies that came in there, had brought her mother. And she said, we're not going to be able to stay today because my mom is she's sick. She's very sick. See, right before your eyes, God will let you know. Listen to me closely. Right before your eyes, God will let you know some of those things that you are meditating on in a way that's so negative. You got to get away from that, because there's always somebody else that's worse off than you. You got to get away from that negative. Sometimes you got to get away from negative people. People tearing you down all the time. People pointing out all your flaws all the time. See that there? That'll get you to your failure quick. Because people are only in your life. They're doing two things in your life. They're either adding to your life or they're taking away from it. And if we're honest, we know when people are adding to our lives just as well as we know when people are taking away from our lives. Always trying to discourage you from things, doing the right thing for your life, enhancing your life. And if you're alive, there's another opportunity to do something in life that you want to do. There's another opportunity been granted to you to build up whatever it is in your life that you want to build on. I say this very often. Build your own table. Build your own table. It might be some things right now in life that you don't have. But you know what? God knows you don't have it. And he's going to fix a way that everything that you don't, those things that you need, he's going to fix a way that you have it, that you get it, that you obtain it. Sometimes he just delays some things. Sometimes God will allow things to break down and you wonder, why me? Lord, you know I needed that. And he said, no, I know what you need. I just know you didn't need that. You thought you needed that. See, what I'm going to give you, I'm going to give you 3 times more than what you thought you needed. I have this philosophy in my life that whenever somebody tell me something that is negative, I work twice as hard to see the positive in it. Let me say that again. Whenever somebody tell you something negative, you need to make a promise to yourself, I'm going to work twice as hard to make it better, to make it work out. I'm going to work twice as hard. Because let's realize, come on, let's deal with reality. Everybody don't like you. Everybody don't want to see you make it. Everybody don't want good for you. And just cause somebody not liking you on Facebook, that don't mean they not watching you. I'm going to say that again. Just because somebody's not watching you on Facebook doesn't mean they not liking you on Facebook, doesn't mean they're not watching you. People watch you all the time. People have discussions about you all the time. And you know what? But they never said anything to you. Why am I saying that this morning? Why am I saying anything this morning that I'm saying? As far as legacy, as far as looking at failure. The reason why I'm saying it is because it's been on my heart's mind. And I want to share it with you because if I'm thinking it, I know there's other people thinking about it. There's other people thinking about their legacy. There's other people who's thinking about their failures. There's other people who want to be lifted up. There's other people who want to be thought about. There's other people out there who want to say, there's somebody out there that cares about me. You know, life doesn't just happen just to you and you alone in a bubble. It doesn't. Life happens, some of the same stuff that you made it through, somebody else just not getting ready to go through it. Some of the same things you've been delivered out of, somebody else is getting ready to go through it. Because there's only 3 types of people in situations. You either on your way to a situation, you're in a situation, or you're on your way out of a situation. Let me say that again. 3 types of people. This is our steps in life. 3 phases. We either on our way to a situation, or we're in a situation, or we're on our way out of a situation. So if you, whatever phase you in, guess what? You're building a testimony. Because once you come out of something, you don't keep looking back on that thing. You got to keep moving forward. Because you know what? You conquered that thing that you thought was a failure. See, when you came out of a situation, you conquered it when you came out. You was in it. And then you You worked your way some kind of way. You came out of it. You made it through. That alone is a blessing. That alone is something for you to pat yourself on the back about. Because that is a part of your legacy of being able to live a situation out in life and share it with somebody else. Your life has such an impact, whether you know it or not. In my years, and this has been over 20 years ago, when I tell people that, and I've had some of my colleagues to come back and say, you know, Electra, remember when we did this and when we did that on the task force, and when we went lobby down in Austin for fighting for the women, the rights of women and children, and remember when we did all of that, and going in our courtrooms, and and she's telling me this, and she said, you know what, would you want to go back and do that? I said, I loved what I did. I thank God for what I did, but I just don't have the same energy for that no more. But I have had the great opportunity of being able to impact somebody's life by being there and fighting for the rights of women and children, for writing a curriculum on teen dating violence, for working with parents of murdered children. Just things that I've had the opportunity to do. I thank God for them. But I had to move on. And I did 7 years on the criminal side, and I did 3 years on the civil side of the law. But you know what? I'm happy about it. I thank God I had the opportunity to do the things. But then God says, move on to do the next thing. It's time for you to move on to do the next thing. And when sometimes I will see some of the people that during my work as a legal advocate will say, at that time when I did that, I was still Long. I wasn't married. And they'll say, I remember you, Miss Long, you helped me do this, or you helped me do that, Or I'll see a young man or a young girl that'll come along and say, I remember when I was in high school and you used to come over to the high school and you used to do this, and you see those things, that's a part of your legacy. That's a part of you that will never die. And each and every one of you have done something in your life. Your life have touched somebody at some point in a way that that's part of your legacy, and you are and will forever be a part of their life because you help to make that change. You help to make that difference. You help to make that person think in a different perspective. You can't be so quick to get upset with someone because they're telling you what is right. Take it and move forward and be thankful that that person wants to be a coach in your life and not a cheerleader. Coaches is who people remember. People don't remember the cheerleader because the cheerleader just tell you yes, just to tell you yes. The coach will say you messing up. Get that in your head. You're building a legacy. That's part of your legacy. I've had so many opportunities that I'm thankful to God for. Not just my academics, not just my work ethics and my career. I've had the opportunity to just meet so many people, to have communications with, to become friends with, to gain close relationships with. And you know what? I'm thankful because through the years, we have impacted one another in a positive way. We got to get away from the negativity. We got to. My friend Crystal, also sister in Christ, is forever checking in and talking to me and encouraging me and inspiring me along this journey I'm on now with this medical stuff I got going on. She's always telling me, Ladybug, it's going to be all right. And she don't just tell me that. She goes into detail on the reason why she say that. And you know, you got to be thankful for God putting people like that in your life. Because sometimes your medical condition that's developing on you seem like it's catching up with you. Seem like that thing gonna take you out. Seem like it's just doing things that's just making you the ground underneath you shake a little bit. But God put people there in your life to say, no, no, no. Don't give up. Let me talk to you. Let me tell you. Let me encourage you. Let me inspire you. Because even that, come on, y'all, let's be honest with ourselves. Even when medical conditions start to arise, you start feeling the sense of failure. See, sometimes when you're not honest with yourself, that means you're dishonest with everybody else who's looking at you. Let me say that again. When you are not honest with yourself, that means you are dishonest with everybody else who's looking at you. People see your dishonesty. People see it. People are not crazy. People are looking for people who are real. That's what they're looking for. All this on the surface stuff, people tired of that. And that on the surface stuff, all it is a bunch of negativity that we must get rid of. And sometimes that means stepping back, taking a look at yourself, reevaluating yourself, and then get back up and go at it. Because like I told y'all earlier, failure, this is what a friend of mine told me on yesterday, failure is just practice for success. Say that to yourself every time you feel that you're a failure. Failure is just practice for success. And you can't get to better without failing sometimes at something. That business wouldn't be where it is today if you had never failed. Where you are today, that you moved out of an old environment to a new environment, to a better environment, because you made the decision, you didn't want that no more. See that? See what I'm talking about? It brought you, and success comes in all different ways. See, you was successful because you got yourself out of a situation that at one point you might have doubted yourself that you could even do that. But you've done it. You've accessed things today that you thought that you couldn't. You're doing things that people told you that you couldn't do. You're doing things that other people thought you weren't even worthy of. And you made it through some situations that your enemy can't even stand you no more. Because every time they look at you, they got to look at your success. Because you got to remember, your enemy never wanted you to make it. And that don't mean the ones you know. That's some of the ones that you didn't know. But guess what? It ain't none of your business how they feel about you. You have to move on. You got to complete your legacy. You got to complete what you want people to remember you by. You got to reflect on the things that you overcame. You got to know that you know that you know that you know who you are. Because you are unique. There's nobody like you. And that alone says you are not a failure. That alone. Nobody else can be Electra. You birth children. They can't be you. You give them a name. That's it. That's it. So all I'm saying to you this morning, when I'm coming on this morning, I'm not going to keep you long, but I wanted to share that with you on today in hopes to encourage and to inspire you to get up and keep moving. And even if, listen to me now, even if right now you feeling like a failure, don't. Stop it. Stop it. And look at yourself. If this situation is only designed as a part of practice for me to get to my success. That's what it is. It's some things you had to practice in life to get to your success, and you did it. And you're going to continue to do it. You will. I'm telling you. Smile at yourself sometime. Stop beating yourself up all the time. God has so much for you. He has so much for you. Stop looking through that glass window, because all you're going to see is other people. You people watching. When you're looking through that glass window, you are people watching. And you're taking the focus off of yourself. You're taking the focus off of you and your goals. And you know, I'm going to say this because it's also on my heart. You know, when we accomplish things, the only way that we accomplish these things, because I go back to the interview that I heard Al Sharpton on former President Obama said, because we keep looking back at the first time we did it, and everybody was excited for us, and everybody wanted us in their circle, and everybody wanted a piece of what we was doing and to know about what we was doing. And you know what? That's wasted calories. That's wasted calories now. You have to move on. And the only way that you're going to accomplish anything in life, you got to stop dealing with them wasted calories. You don't need to be stroked about that same thing no more. You 20 years down the road and you still trying to get that same impact. That same impact that you got when you first jumped out there and people was all excited. You want that same impact. You will never reach your accomplishments, because that is wasted calories. You enjoy the moment and move on. That's why each and every one of you have made it to your accomplishments in life. And you're going to accomplish some more things. Don't get stuck on wasted calories. You can't do that. Do that next thing. Keep building your legacy. All of you have one. I've got one. You have one. Write those things down on how your life have made the difference in your community, in relationships, in your family. All of that is a part of your legacy. Every bit of it. Stop measuring yourself up against other people. What they got going on don't have nothing to do with you. Let me say that again. What somebody else got going on don't have nothing to do with you. Only thing that you need to be focused on is you. Your goals in life, your accomplishments in life, things you want to do in life, things you've overcome in life. And as long as you living, it's always something else to do. And it don't have to look like everybody else thinks and believes it ought to. It just needs to look like how you want it to. Focus on you. Focus on your level, your legacy, and build from it. Wherever you're at right now in building your legacy, keep building from there. Because there's some things you've done in life that you might not look at them as a big deal, but guess what? God see it as a big deal. I love communication. I have a passion for communication. It is my belief, I'm saying my belief, that without communication, the world can't continue to move on. You got to talk. You got to communicate. You got to share information. How did the world continue to exist without communication? Without people sitting down and having conversations? So communication is right here in my heart. Because I believe it plays a huge factor in all of our lives. Relationships with families, with our spouses, with our children, with our co-workers, with anybody requires communication. You got to have it because we need it. So with that said this morning, I just wanted to come on and share that and prayerfully encourage you to continue to focus on you each and every day. Know that what you got going on is important. Knowing that, hey, I might have failed at some things. Things didn't turn out the way that I wanted them to, but get back up and go at it again. Get yourself around some positive people. Get out of them negative circles. They'll kill you. They'll drown you. Get out of them so you can continue to work on you. All right? So y'all have a wonderful day. And before I get off of here today, want to remind you all that tomorrow, the podcast, again, is at 6 o'clock. I'm going to put the instructions up again on my Facebook. I'm going to put the instructions up of how you're going to get to the podcast. So if you go, come to my Facebook page, Electra James, and so you'll see those instructions. Jacqueline Salver is going to be my guest on tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. And I really invite you to come in and to listen to what she has to say. She was one of our lead counselors when she worked with me at the college, and just a dynamic person, very articulate in what she shares with you. And I just want to just encourage you to come to the podcast and take a listen. And then I also have other guests who are going to be coming on. And just to give you some insight, just very briefly before I get off, if you didn't know, the purpose of my podcast is to provide a platform for individuals to come on, to share their stories with others. And whatever information it is, something that they're passionate about. And there's 30 minutes of time that they get to just sit and talk about that thing that they're passionate about. That's an opportunity being granted. And so as I get the different guest lineups to come on, my attempt is to get and provide guests who don't mind sharing and knowing that what they have is going to impact the lives of others in a positive way. It's all age groups. It's all ethnic groups, that socioeconomic groups that are welcome to this platform, Electra James Inspirational Talks. And I'm so happy about having a podcast. I really am excited about it. And God really blessed me to work on that thing and to get it done. And I want some of you to come on and be a part of it. It's nothing but just having a conversation and being real. Nothing is scripted. and just being real. But, you know, you're on YouTube, so that many people will see you. Millions of people will see you. But it's okay because you're having a conversation with substance to it. So I welcome any of you who want to just send me a request to come on. And I would enjoy having you on to have a conversation. Okay? So again, you all have a wonderful day. You take care of yourselves and know that you are worthy because you really are. You are absolutely wonderful. All right? I appreciate every one of you. Have a wonderful day. And I see you tomorrow night at 6 o'clock p.m. on Electric James Inspirational Talks podcast. Okay. All right. Talk to you later. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.